Hello, sweet creatures. I'm Claire, or Galaxy Coop, all over the internet. And today I want you to grab a cozy cup of something delicious and warm. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself because I thought it would be fun to talk about art and to talk about my art journey since I have officially, as we're speaking, 170 subscribers here on YouTube. That's so exciting to me, and I think I'm approaching 1,000 subscribers on Instagram. So I'm very excited about both of those. So I just thought I'd share a little bit about my art journey while a time lapse goes, showing me making some art and working in one of my art grimoires. So, how I got into art. I've always been a pretty crafty, artistic kid. I really loved doing arts and crafts with my best friend, which she was even more artistic than I am, and we still exchange art occasionally, and it's very, very fun. But I never thought an artist would be something I would want to do with my life. I never thought I would consider art making or art therapy a career. I'm currently in college with a goal of becoming an art therapist someday, which I have a long road ahead of me before I am officially an art therapist, but I'm excited to walk down the road and face the challenges that exist on it. But yeah, I really liked fashion as a kid. I really liked Barbie dolls. I eventually got into cosplay in high school. At one point I thought I was going to be a fashion designer. I took some fashion design classes that I really enjoyed. But eventually I got it in my head that that was not practical, which is fairly correct. It's very difficult to be an artist. So I decided to join the Navy and pursue a technical career. So I was an electronics technician. And I loved that too. I loved math and science, but now that I am out of the military, I kind of never want to do math ever again. I want to enter my Bob Ross era, and what I mean by that is that I just want to encourage love of art for people, because I really believe art is something everyone should do. And it doesn't matter if you're good at it, you should just do it because it's good for you. If that makes any sense. So, crafty, not really artistic. In 2017, my partner went to me and said that they wanted to try painting. So I said, yes, let's do it. And we bought some acrylic painting supplies from the Michaels, threw on a Bob Ross tutorial, and just started zipping away. And I fell in love with it. And I would use it to pass time when I was on rotating shift works throughout my time in the military, so that I could shift my sleep schedule. And I just really, really loved acrylic painting. I did mostly landscapes. I'm still not super comfortable with faces or people. So all that to say, I have no formal art training. I call myself a community-taught artist. I think a lot of people would say self-taught, but I say community-taught because no one exists in a vacuum. And I was taught by the art community on the internet and in person at art centers, and in passing when I saw people making their art. I saw techniques that I loved and ideas that I felt like I wanted to expand upon, and it wasn't me in a vacuum holding a paintbrush being like, yes, I have reinvented art all by myself. So that's why I call myself a community taught artist. And on that note, I'm going to be including some artists in the description, some YouTube channels that I think you all should check out that are really inspiring people to me. So I just did acrylic landscapes for a really long time, and I still really love acrylic landscapes. I love to see how much I've changed and simultaneously how little I changed. A couple years ago, I started a painting series. I call it Tree and Moon. I don't have a better better name for it. You can see it on my Instagram. And I realized my very first acrylic painting was a tree and the moon. But things I like painting nature and landscapes. I paint Arizona a lot because that's where I grew up, and I think it's a really beautiful place. If you ever get a chance to visit, it's beautiful. It really is. But yeah, I really enjoyed painting nature and using acrylic paints, and that was pretty much all I did for a very long time. And then my great-grandmother passed away, and I inherited her art supplies. She was 102. She lived a great life. But I inherited her art supplies, and she was mostly a pastel artist, but there were a lot of different art supplies in her stuff to include watercolors, and it made me want to tackle watercolors. And from watercolors, I learned about mixed media, and from mixed media, I learned about art witchcraft, and that just blew the doors open on what I could do. And now I would say I am primarily a mixed media artist. You can see a lot of different types of artwork on my Etsy shop. I will also link my Etsy shop below if you're interested in taking a little peek. But I work in a lot of different mediums, and I really enjoy it now. I'm still deeply inspired by nature, but I've started to study historic artists. So I really like artists from the golden age of illustration, from book illustration, which was around like 1870 to 1918. I really love Arthur Rackham and Edmund Dulac, and you might not see that in my art style at all, but they're very inspirational to me. And I really love vintage illustrations, like 16th century religious illustrations. Those are the inspiration for a lot of my lina cuts and my Sacred Heart drawings and the King of Snails prints. Yes, 16th century illustrations. I want to be scrolling through Pinterest and looking at medieval manuscripts and old illustrations and enjoying old things that are strange to us now. I really love vintage Victorian postcards. I have a small collection, but I love them all, especially the strange ones. I actually have a Victorian Christmas card tattooed on my thigh. The bottom of it says, "Who's afraid?" And that was actually a phrase that appeared on a lot of Victorian cards. I've seen it on Easter cards. I've seen it on just a greeting card, just "Who's afraid?" And it cracks me up. So I thought it'd be silly if that was on my thigh, and if I were wearing a skirt, it would peek out. So that's kind of my journey and my inspirations. I love color. I love glitter. I really love glitter. And I just work on a lot of different mediums, and I have a few different projects. So I have my Skull Plant Mixed Media series, which you have seen on here. I have my Cat's Garden mixed media series, which hopefully after my knee surgery, I will be able to have a video on that and have some footage of me making a couple Cat's Garden pieces. And that series is all about biodiversity and celebrating it. And also about keeping your cats indoors. Cats should be inside. In the Americas, they are killing off a lot of our native bird species. It's not healthy for them. It's not healthy for the environment. I'm sorry for going on this tirade. Cats should be kept indoors. If you have cats. I have cats. I have 3 cats that I love very, very much, even though I am deeply allergic to cats. I can thank my partner for getting me addicted to the sweet little fuzzy creatures. But here is the flip through of this unfinished grimoire page. I have stuff that I finished in the past for this page for one of Megan and the Moon's classes. I'll link Megan and the Moon below, along with a lot of the other people. I'll link Molly Roberts. You saw one of her printables here, and she is always, always, always an inspiration. Along with a couple other smaller artists that I think you should check out after this video is over. If you have any questions for me, this is kind of rambly. I just wanted to share a little bit about myself so you could see why I am the way I am, why my art is the way it is. And we'll talk about it more in the future. There might be a little baby bonus video next week if you all are interested in seeing the progress I've made on my winter grimoire, because otherwise you're not going to see it until next winter. So let me know if you would like to see a little baby video. If you have questions about anything I showed or made in this video, let me know. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you would like to like this video, that would be super. If you're not subscribed and you'd like to subscribe, I'd appreciate it so much. I will see you again very, very soon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Goodbye.